in court for murdering his dad, and his feet do not even touch the floor. I think that says it all. Let's bring back Monica Lindstrom and Dr. Clay Watson, and let's go back over the details. Monica, we'll start with you. Details of an 8-year-old shooting his dad, reloading after each shot. And the way I understand it, the friend was outside on the cell phone talking to his wife, was called in by the 8-year-old, and obviously he was met with gunfire, shot and killed. I mean, does it sound premeditated to you now? What do you glean from this?
Well, it definitely fits the definition of premeditated. Now, whether he has the mental capacity or the competence to be able to form that in his own mind is a different question. Premeditation only takes a second to think, a minute, just to reach out and grab that gun or to load it or something. It just takes a split second to think about it. And we know now that he did, because it was a rifle, single shot. He shot each of them at least 4 times from what the reports say. So just like you mentioned, Mike, he had to eject the shell and reload it each time. That's a lot of time, and that is definitely premeditation.
Yeah, and that's what gets me to think that it wasn't just like shot, dad down, shot, friend down. It was shoot,
an accident.
Reload, again, 4 times each. And even to call the friend in, Clay, I hate to say this about an 8-year-old, but that sounds like an ice in your veins killer.
Well, I wouldn't say that at all. First of all, when you think about what premeditation is, there's the legal definition of premeditation, but what premeditation is in the mind of a child versus in the mind of an adult, that's 2 different things. Yeah. We're talking about the mental state of an 8-year-old child. We're not talking about someone who's an adult who can think about all the consequences of his behavior. We're talking about someone who's a 3rd grader, plays in the playground, goes out with his friends, looks forward to recess. Premeditation is something that I would question in the purest of terms.
Yeah, and what I'm saying here is, and I agree with you, does an 8-year-old know the consequences? No, I don't believe that. But just the mental image of him reloading and shooting and killing, like living out a video game almost. Let's get a call in real quick. Leah in Virginia. Leah, what are your thoughts on this tragedy?
Yeah, I just think that an 8-year-old boy who could do this to his own father, I just think that he's got severe mental issues. And I really think that he needs to be in an asylum somewhere.
Yeah, well, Clay, let's hit on you with that one. Here's what I'm reading, that when a child shoots a parent, 3 reasons: physical or sexual abuse, severe mental illness, or antisocial or psychopathic tendencies. Is that where you start, and what are you seeing here?
Well, first, I'd like to address what the caller just said. You know, certainly we're not necessarily talking about a cold-blooded killer here. We don't know what is going on in this child's mind. There are a couple things you want to look for. First, was there physical, sexual, or emotional abuse? Was there psychiatric illness? We don't know. There's not necessarily the case that it happens to be, but it could be some psychiatric issues like depression, like psychosis. We have to look at that. The other thing that you will want to say is there a lot of stress in this child's life, whether it's school or in the home? We know that there are discipline issues. Was this child unable to cope with something that was happening in the home?
Right.
Or are we simply talking about an impulsive child who happens to know his way around a gun? We know the history. This child has been out shooting with his father. His father taught him how to hunt. Is this a child who knows how to shoot and impulsively acts, but doesn't know the consequences of shooting a human being?
Right. Let's get another call in. Linda in Connecticut.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out if the boy showed any kind of remorse or if he was crying at all or anything yesterday in court.
Not that we know of, not that I'm read. Monica, I'll defer to you on this one, but from what Mike was saying and what I read, he was fidgety. He was sitting next to his mom, who actually lives in Mississippi. But other than that, not that I've seen or read. You?
No, the reports say he was just sitting there, rocking back on his chair, tapping his fingers. Basically, what we see a normal 8-year-old child doing in any kind of situation where they have to sit there and be quiet. And Mike, we might not ever have any information other than what we already have right now, because as you had mentioned earlier, the judge issued a gag order. And that means that everybody that's involved with this case, from the court staff to the attorneys and their staff, they can't give any more information. The cops aren't supposed to tell us anything about the evidence that's discovered or what actions they're taking next to investigate what's going on.
Okay.
If I could say...
Real quick, Clay.
Yes, yes. Monica makes a great point. He's behaving like an 8-year-old. The question about whether or not this child has remorse begs the question about whether or not he understands the consequences of his behavior. If he doesn't understand that what is there to have remorse about. He doesn't. I'm saying he doesn't necessarily understand what has happened to have remorse for.
No,
it.
that's a great point, Clay, because we hear the heinousness of the crime, but we got to always take ourselves back. He's 8. He's 8.
Evaluate it right
and that's
He's a child.
Yeah, he's a child, exactly. All right, you guys, we got to run. Thanks again. I'm sure we'll continue to talk about this when as the details unfold. Dr. Clay Watson and Monica Lindstrom. Thanks again, you guys.
Thank
All right,
you.
another story we continue to follow.